want.
Because we got an awful lot of stuff to go through today. And this is why I've got Jason on. As I was saying before we lost the link there, we got tons of intel to go through today. Some funny, and some really constructive. We've got I'll have to be careful what I say, but I've had a glass of wine on the beach, so I'm not so careful.
Uh-oh.
People like it when you do that because they say, be naughty, Charlie, be naughty.
Well, my wife took me down to the beach for lunch, and we did demolish a bottle of Whispering Angel rosé, which was extremely nice. But yes. So yeah, we can spill a few beans.
I'd have a hell of a problem because it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. If I'm drinking already, it's like, oh no, not good. Not good.
Exactly. Well, we'll start off with a funny naughty. We'll probably go back to it later on. And we've had quite a bit of fun with this since it broke. And this is about Donald Trump's ex-wife. What a smart move. Why don't you bury her at the golf course? For those people who haven't seen about this. And of course, you need permission to bury somebody in the garden or in the golf course. And of course, Donald Trump managed to get that. And he managed to turn the golf course into a registered cemetery.
That's a tax write-off right there.
Complete tax write-off. Top to bottom. Avoided every single tax you could ever have, including death duty.
I mean,
which was an absolute coup. And of course, yeah, that was just something that makes you smile.
Well, what else would make you smile is she wrote a book about coping with divorce. Guess what the name of the book was?
Go on.
The Best Is Yet to Come.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I mean, you can't even make this stuff up anymore.
No. There's so much stuff that's coming. But we've now got a decent number of people on here, so we'll start with the first bit of intel that it was private. And for anybody who's got a pen and paper, you need to write down 2 words and do a little bit of research. Back in the middle of this year, I put out there that the election in America, the fraudulent election in America, had been overturned already. I now have extremely hard evidence from 3 different sources that it was actually overturned by the Supreme Court of the United States of America. The election has been overturned. They know this. Now, the 2 words I want you to write down are shadow and document. This is the way that it was done. It was done very, very discreetly, and it was done with what's known as a shadow document. It was completely overturned. You're absolutely right. You've got the date right, Shelley. June the 22nd. And it was a shadow document.
Oh my God.
And also, just for the record, so what? So Nevin, bless you. So this is all part of the game plan. And the second part of this term of 4 years legally can be run by Donald Trump. So everything that Donald Trump is doing is by the book. Literally everything. He's not dropping to their level. It's all being done by the letter of the law. And so he could technically just go straight back into office and run everything. One thing you'll know from what I've already told you on this journey is that nothing, as much as the mainstream media will tell you, oh, this came out of the White House and this came out of Washington, D.C. Nothing comes out of the White House. Nothing comes out of Washington, D.C. or the Pentagon, for that matter, at this moment in time, and hasn't done since since the theft of the last election. The control has not been from the White House. It's more, every message has come out of a studio. It's never ever come out of the White House or out of the Pentagon or what have you, or Washington. It's always come out of another location. And I've given you those two locations, although I got a massive telling off for actually announcing where the control of the US is run from nowadays, as in Texas and Nevada, two different locations. The question mark now is to select not the president or the commander-in-chief, but to select the vice president. And yeah, Biden will go. Fake Biden will go. But this is all being done to expose how corrupt and evil they are. They had to be allowed to steal it, and they had to go through the process for more than 12 months to satisfy the legal aspect. So the Senate will have to select the vice president, but they'll have to do it by using the Electoral College. Sorry, what are you going to say, Jason?
Charlie, they did it in the numbers.
They did it in the numbers. Go on, explain that for my audience.
Okay, so you have shadow and document or docket, right? So the S is in 19. It's not gematria, it's numerology. A equals 1, B equals 2, right? They already explained that to us a long time ago. So when you have 19 and 4, you have 1 plus 9 plus 4 is a 14, and you have 19 plus 4 is a 23. Well, 1 plus 4 is 5, and 2 plus 3 is 5. There's your 5, 5. Right there. Done.
Wow.
They do everything by the numbers.
Yeah, 100%.
These guys are just, I mean,
they're brilliant, aren't they?
They're savages.
You better translate the 55 though, guys, because a lot of people won't understand that, Jason. Sorry, buddy.
Well, the thing is, like 5-5, it's like loud and clear, but also there's a lot of things that are 5-5. You have Enki and Enlil from the whole Babylonian epic of creation, right? Then you have the 5-5, which in the Mayan calendar, we're ending the 5th cycle of the Mayan calendar right now. We actually ended it. So now, because they all worship the Mayan gods and everything like that, like it's pure evil that they all worship. Well, that's why they knocked it out now. And when they had like, D5, it's like, guys, D5, that was the 4th out of 5th year. 4th out of 5th procession. Now it's 5-5. It's like, guys, here we go. Because whenever they put a colon in the middle of it, it's time. It tells you a time. Well, what time? I mean, 5-5 isn't telling you anything. I mean, it can tell you, year and year, like yearly procession to yearly procession. Because what we found was the MS-13 in the beginning, they had dots under it, right? MS-13, and they said no one got this, right? Well, we actually did, believe it or not, because with all this talk about calendars, there's one calendar we forgot to go back and check. The Mayan calendar, the Mayan long count calendar. And the thing is that the Mayan long count calendar actually, because the day out of time, they have a day out of time, is July 25th, right? Now, when you have June 25th, because it says done in 30, exactly 30, and June 25th was the break day. Because what you do is, here, let me get these real quick. You take
Lorenzo, I'm learning just like you, buddy.
Yeah, I know your work, Jason, and you leave a lot of people behind, mate, because you're really, really fast. So I didn't mean to interrupt the flow there, Charlie.
Oh, no. I'd much rather go over this because it's easier to just stop me and then just say, hey, what do you mean? That's like, okay, then I can go over it. And then So then,
Just very quickly, somebody asked who Jason is. Jason's been a very good friend of mine for 2 years, who's been decoding all of these numbers. And he's got no idea why he was called to do this, but he's now decoded over 800,000 documents.
pages. We have over 800,000 pages here.
800,000 pages.
I'm counting the books and
everything else. And he's done so much work, guys. You have no idea. And he doesn't sleep. He literally works flat out, and he's been a massive source of information to me. I would suggest I probably understand about 10% of what Jason tells me, because it's just like I've got a 62-year-old brain. That it's difficult, but he's absolutely brilliant, and he's bang on with everything he says. And when I sit back and go through stuff, everything just adds up, and it's just like, really? And you just can't make this stuff up. So 100%. We'll stop Jason. If there's something you don't understand, please put it in the comments, and we'll get Jason to explain it, because this is absolutely important in understanding not just the times and the dates and the process. This makes so many other things so much clearer. So there's a lot of people asking about 55 again. So if we can clarify 55.
Okay, so right here, what we did was you take the calendar, right? And you split it in half. January equals July, February, August, March, September, April, October, May, November, June, December. Because you have June 21st and December 21st, you have your solar and no, not just solar, but your summer and your winter solstice, right? But then when it comes to December 25th, now December 25th is not Christmas, guys. It's Saturnalia. These are all the Romans. They screwed everything up. You know, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. They screwed everything so far up, it's not even funny. So what they did is that they made June 25th, the day, because from June 25th to July 25th is exactly 30 days. And July 25th is the only neutral day on the calendar. It's called the day out of time in the Mayan calendar. And what the day out of time is that there's a day that doesn't have a moon, or it doesn't have a day of the week. Because the Mayans, they go off the long count calendar, which they have 364 days in a year, which they don't have that 365th day. So it's July 25th, which also is, July is the 7th month, and also 25th, that's a 7-7, but also the J is a 10, 25th is a 7, you have 17 as well. It all works out. That's how we started checking out like certain dates that they would say that this is going to happen on. Well, when you start splitting up the calendar, everything's about the calendars. Then you have to look at the Gregorian and the Julian calendar. You have a 13-day separation there, because right now it is August 27th. Yeah, 27th.
Yeah.
So it would be August
March
6th, August 14th.
or
August 14th on the Julian calendar, because it's 13 days back.
Okay, yeah.
Because what they did was that it was back in, was it 1405 or 1407, when that Pope Gregory decided to, screw around the whole Julian calendar. And then that's where the whole Gregorian calendar came from. This was a Pope. I mean, nobody even knows what year we're in. Everybody's just completely, they have everything so screwed up, it's not even funny. Because everybody forgot to realize what clock we had to go by. The clock is up there. Our entire firmament is a clock. When they said, as the world turns, we're not moving. We're on a flat, non-rotating earth. The firmament moves. It moves. That is what makes everything move. All the constellations, it's not us. It's the whole firmament. The firmament is a clock. It's exactly what it is. But once you realize that clock, because, you think about it, they say that if we're on a globe Earth, gosh, I can't believe they even lied to us about that. But it says that we would be spinning at 1,040 miles an hour. Do you think that anything around here, like when President Trump talks about the wind, oh, the wind, dear, you know, the wind, we can't watch TV, there's no wind. We're not moving. If you're moving 1,040 miles an hour, there's always going to be wind. Because we're constantly spinning. And plus, they say, watch the water. You cannot have, if you take a tennis ball and you soak it in water and spin it on concrete, what happens to the water? The water goes from the bottom and the top, it goes to the middle, and it shoots out the sides. Why wouldn't it do something bigger on Earth? That's why NASA's full of shit too. This is, I mean, and the thing is, when they talk about flat Earth, it's like, because this isn't Earth either. No, we actually have a letter, a number, and a designation for all this. It's like, I know it's like Delta 5. That's our numerical thing, but that whole NASCAR funded map, I took it down. I had in the back, but it's like 178 worlds on one big, massive plane of existence. And when President Trump always talks about, 1,000 years, you always have walls and wheels. The Earth is 110% flat. We have every document known. We could, you know what? In fact, we're actually this good that, boop. Guess what? Since people like truth, well, that's what we bring. Can I get the screen sharing by chance?
Let's have a look. Let me just do that for you.
Thank you.
Where is it now? Local files. Make co-host. There we go. That'll do you.
My man. All right. So, as we see here, I mean, we only have like 170 something pages of documents. I mean, even right here, guys, that light bulb in the sky, it even has a patent made by Northrop Grumman. It's a large area pulsed solar simulator by Northrop Grumman. You could write these down, check them out, everything. The Universal Planisphere Complete Guidance and Computer System. That's the clock. Who knew, right? I mean, and what we'll do is, we can go in the comments or I can send these to Charlie and Charlie can post them and all that. So, but the thing is that now these are official NASA documents, April 17, 1961, right? Calculation of wind compensation for launching of unguided rockets. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Oh, that's not good enough. But
you've got hundreds of documents, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's try to stay on track though, Jason, because this stuff is gonna burn up the entire hour, and the viewers are asking. Let's get back down. I shouldn't have stopped the flow about the 5.5, but loud and clear. I think we've got that. Look at all that stuff you've got. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, people have to understand that it is not a spinning ball. Once you get that out of your system, and you realize that we inhabit this world, this plane of existence, with a shit ton more of other people. I mean, guys, right here. Here's your Masonic science right there. Speed of the globe's orbit, 66.6. It's all 666, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So getting back to the 55, for those people that were asking, so that you can clarify that.
Yeah.
But the 5.5.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the end of the Mayan cycle. The end of the Mayan cycle.
Okay.
End of the Mayan cycle. Every year on July 25th, it's a day out of time. They celebrate all across the world. I mean, they celebrate because it's the only neutral day. So what has to happen on a neutral day? codes command action. Because if you enter it on a positive day, you're going to have a negative. Enter on a negative, you're going to have a positive. You have to find the middle, the intermediate. Sure. And that's the thing. So what happened then? I'll bet you they entered the Jacera codes with bricks, with Putin, G, and all that. Yeah. They did it. Because why should we get to go first? When people like Nicera has to go first, like we're the idiots that did all this.
I'm going to come on to
speaking of Americans, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to come on to the Nicera Jacera in a bit, because obviously since 107 made a comment about it, I've spoken to him since, because Nicera Jacera is written into law.
Yes.
And it's interfaced with the quantum financial system. They are intrinsically linked. And
we have that printed too.
Sorry?
We have that printed too.
Yes, exactly.
Under the quantum.gov.
Yeah. Quantum.gov. For those people that haven't seen this, quantum.gov is a website that I published probably a year ago, and it was way out of my knowledge bracket. And I asked Jason to investigate, and he downloaded the documents off that website, and there was about 7 inches of documents. And he went through them all for you and me to understand. So when people go, yeah, and they want to argue, when you've done no research, I suggest you just button it. Jason has done so much research into this that the one thing I know for sure is that the research is solid. And I've actually, we've been talking for 2 years about this for a very long time. So stuff like this, you might not agree with it, but if you've done no research, do me a favor, shut up. I get sick and tired of smart asses coming out with stuff and they've done no research. They just watched a bit of telly 10 years ago and they think they know everything. I've done something like 15,000 hours of research, and I would imagine Jason's probably done double that. I get sick and tired of people who've done no research telling me that they know so much better. I will tell you with Nicera Jacera that every single country on the planet has signed into it. Every single country. Now, reading between the lines and also working with Jason to try and get you some accurate dates for what's happening. First of all, I have on extremely good authority from 3 different sources that the election in November, there's a very good chance it will not happen. And what that means is that we are now heading next week into September. September and October are going to be in very important months, very important. There's going to be a lot of things happening. And I have it on very good authority that we will get a confession during September or October about the theft of the election. I have that on very good authority. They've been caught, as we said earlier. It's already gone through the Supreme Court, or as the Americans call it, SCOTUS. Brits call it the Supreme Court. Everything has letters in America.
We call it all bullshit.
Exactly. So it's already been through, and it was called a shadow docket. That's how it was processed, a shadow docket. So the structure behind the scenes, for those people who want to know anything about why it's being done this way, do yourself a favor and watch or read The Art of War. It's a book of, I think Jason has the book, don't you, Jason?
Yep.
The Art of War. Show them how big it is. I mean, when you talk about the Art of War, this book has got everything in there. If you can't find it, you can't find it. But
no, that's
it's a thick book, and I have had the privilege of spending time with General Flynn. I've had the privilege of spending time with a number of people, and on Monday I'm speaking with Kash Patel. These people give me a lot of very constructive information behind the scenes. But I can assure you that what their the way that they're going about this is they're military. Well, General Flynn's a military general. He's not going to tell me. He's not going to tell me exactly what the plan is, because I have a huge following. So it'd be absolutely stupid for him to tell me, because we have so many people that watch this. Doesn't matter, Jason. It's a massive.
Oh, right. That's right.
It's about 4 inches thick, 4 or 5 inches thick. It's a big book. So Nasara Jasara is part of the quantum financial system. Also, some very, very important information to do with all of this interlinked. They have finished the production of the Q phones. The Q phones are now complete and ready for distribution. They have made 6 billion phones.
Is that the link that you shared with me the other day, Charlie? We should put that link on there. Do you want me to put it on?
Yeah, I would appreciate that. So
right,
this again is major intel. And I shared it with Jason the other day, but I asked Drew not to put it out until I'd spoken to the insiders. There are 6 billion Q phones already manufactured, packed, ready to go. They are ready for distribution. And the moment everything is ready for distribution, everything's ready to go, they will go. Also, I've also shared a link with Mahoney that he can share with our audience, which will go out on an Insiders Club email. The new quantum voting system is now in the public domain. So you'll be able to vote from your Q phone. So you won't have any mail-in ballots. You'll have absolutely no chance at all of hacking into this. And this will be the same in every single country worldwide. So, Mahoney's shared the link there for the Q phone and the voting system, so people can have a look at this. But this is the major news that I had today, on top of the fact that we've now got hard evidence that the election has been overturned behind the scene. But what they're doing is they're allowing them to hang themselves. What they did with Trump with Mar-a-Lago was a trap that was set by Trump and his team, and they jumped in with both feet, and they've now made a complete and utter fool of themselves, and they've left themselves wide open. And this is happening time and time again.
You know how they knew the date when they were going to do all this too?
It was published, wasn't it? 4 years, a 4-year delta.
But also when you look at Trump's rallies, right? When you text Trump at 88022,
yeah,
that's when they actually went in and did the raid on the
8th of the 822, and that is his number that's been in front of us now for the last year.
He's been right in front of us, like, guys, right here.
Yeah, it's the text number in America that if you to support vote Trump is 88022, which is exactly the date in which they went in there. Now, also, we have very, very good intel that they notified him that they were coming first, because they asked him to turn the cameras off. And what do you think he said? No chance.
He a dick. Oh, the best thing is we have all the court documents too that they released. So,
yeah,
yes.
Yes, they've blocked out a lot of stuff in there, or they've tried to, but that's going to get themselves into deeper water than they were in the first place. So somebody mentioned about food shortages. I'm going to come on to that in a bit, because I got a message from Lynn Wood earlier about the intent worldwide to shut down the world's economy. On September the 11th.
And it's the 21st anniversary too.
Yeah.
777.
Yeah.
And you're gonna love this. We found a gnat. Where are you at? I just over here. So we're going over the 9/11 docs, right?
Yeah.
That prove that Israel did it all.
Yeah.
We know Israel did it, right? And the whole Israel's last, it's Ukraine. Ukraine is the second Israel. But the thing is that there is a specific moving company that was based out of here as well. And I mean, the name of it, I was like, no. It's called where are you? Zim Shipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Nothing like throwing that right out there. And because you talk about Zim bonds, the whole Zimbabwe bonds and everything like that, the bear bonds. Well, there you go. Zim Shipping. I mean, they're playing this all out like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, even the date that the search warrant was signed, it was 8/5/22. It adds up to 17 at 12 p.m. to 33. We're getting all the numbers back.
Well, it was made very clear to me, and I said it about over 18 months ago, that their numerology and their symbology would be their downfall. Because it would be used, their own weapons would be used against them. We're now seeing their own, and this is for this audience who are watching this, this is where the value of Jason comes in, because he's working out all of these numbers and figures for us, because I would never have ever found this out. It's way out of my pay grade to try and work these out. And this is where I'm very grateful to Jason for being able to actually work these all out. Yeah, apparently, well done, Christine, there for saying that. The Q phones, from what I understand, are going to be distributed free of charge to everybody too. For those people that are panicking, oh, what's it going to cost me for a Q phone? From what I understand, they're going to be distributed free of charge to everyone.
And also another 5/5. We're going to end it on the 28th, October 28th, 2022. That's the fifth. That's the end of the 5th year. This has been going on for 5 years exactly.
Has it really?
Yes. October 28th, 2017, 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22. Boom. That's your 5th year. That's 5/5 right there. Boom.
And that fits in with what I've been told, that it'll be all this will all become public in September, October. They haven't given me a date, but this is where Jason can put some meat on the bones to try and work out when these dates are. There's a good question from Hilda. Gregorian or Julian calendar, the 5/5?
We're going by the Gregorian.
We're going by the Gregorian calendar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because the thing is that this year, our election here, well, so-called election, is on November 8th, right? What was the date of the election that when Trump won? It was November 8th. There's your 11/8. You have 11/2, then you have 11/3 start, 11/4 actionable, then you have 11/5, and then 11/6, and then 11/7. 11/7 was the golden cube that they put in Central Park. They cost $11.7 million, and they had guards around it. I'm like, you guys, are you serious? They're totally just playing with us. Who puts a gold cube right in the middle of Central Park and has guards there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is. The most important thing from my point of view, is that I'm getting my intel, and what I have to try and do is to make it legitimate, is to verify it. And what I do when I find intel out is go to people like Jason, to go to spiritual people, to go to other either Department of Defense or Department of Justice, where I have contacts, go to people like Mark Z. There are certain people I can go to. This week I had to go to one of the creators of the quantum financial system, to ask them about Nasara Jasara, to ask them about the quantum phones and the quantum voting system. I had to go to double check everything. And then not only did I go to them, but I also got somebody spiritual who gave me something that they'd downloaded, which just tied everything in together. And this is what it is. This is a spiritual journey. And for those people that are connected to their spiritual, so I had somebody the other day saying, and this is such a victim mentality. Well, I've got to do it all myself. And I was like, that this is, you know, when I got kicked out of the religion when I was 23 years old, I had nobody to turn to, nobody. I had no safety net. In fact, when I got into trouble, people who've read my book, I got into trouble and I went to prison when I was 24. And I went and, like a little baby, and knocked at my dad's door and said, help. He slammed the door in my face, told me to go. There was nobody there to help me, nobody there to guide me. I lost my way, but I had no safety net. And failure then did not become an option. I had to stand up and be counted. And every single person needs to stand up and be counted right now in this battle. I've said it twice now on stage when I've been touring America. We only need to change a little bit, change one letter. Don't be a warrior, be a warrior. And that means get off your backside and do something. And every single person has an equal value, but in different ways. Don't copy Jason, don't copy Charlie, be your own person, whoever you are. You have an equal value, but you need to find it within you. And I sit there and I look at Jason and go, wow, I'd love to be that clever. I'd love to be that smart. But God gave me another path. God has given you another path.
Yep.
And my path and Jason's path are different, but we share intel. We're like twins. We're like brothers. We share everything, and we just try and make absolute sense of it. Lots of it goes right over my head. Somebody commented about my face earlier when Jason's talking about numbers, because when I come off a 1 hour conversation with Jason, I feel like I've been run over by a lorry, because the amount of information is absolutely mental. But when you sit down for 5 minutes, half an hour, and do some of your own research, you only need to do one little bit and find out that what Jason said is right, rather than sitting there and go, well, I don't believe that. That's the easiest thing to say. I don't believe it. Well, do some research, and then suddenly you'll realize what I realized. That every time after I've spoken to Jason, I've got to sit down and let my brain clear, and then just try and probably have a glass of wine to open my brain up a bit to allow it to absorb the information. But we all have a calling. And do you know what? God has given you something, every one of you, God has given you something that's unique and special. And if you don't find it, in my view, you're insulting God. God has given you something special. Don't try and be anybody else. Find out what you're supposed to be. Find out what your calling is, because it's inside you. I guarantee you. And what's inside you is not somebody else. What's inside you is you, and something special that is you. Find that higher you, and then you'll have a purpose. Then you'll find all of this negativity will disappear, because you'll suddenly realize you're special. There's a lot of people out there watching me right now who don't realize how special they are. They are as special as Mahoney, as special as Jason, as special as Charlie, equally as special, not better, not worse, equal. Get a grasp of that, get off your backside and be a warrior, and don't worry about all this rubbish, because God has won this already. But God is waiting for you to get off your backside and find out who the hell you are, who the heaven you are, because it's within you. It's your calling. You've all got it, but I listen to him, watch him, I can't be bothered doing it. That's not that. We need every single person to stand up. And it's like what Lynn Wood sent through on the 11th of September. We need to make a stand against these these big companies. I had somebody contact me the other day and say, Charlie, we've now got a group of patriot companies worldwide that we want to put on your channel so that you can buy stuff just from patriots. And I went, well, that makes a lot of sense to me, rather than just doing the easy part of going on Amazon and going to Walmart. But us Europeans don't go to Walmart, it's the Americans who go there. But there are corrupt organizations. Amazon, Walmart, all of these, they're all corrupt organizations. And we need to strangle these ones. And yes, there's going to be food shortages. Yes, there is. My heart and soul goes out to the Amish community, who've come under massive attack in the last week or two, where they've been massively fined for growing their own fruit and vegetables. Yeah, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But I cannot stress, for those people that are awake and aware, this is pantomime. This is to wake people up, so that when you are trying to convince your friends of the truth, you have the ammunition to go out there and say to them, well, what do you think about these people fining the Amish community for growing their own fruit and vegetables? What do you think about that? We're getting all the tools now for people to wake people up. My daughter, I'm battling with her. We're getting there. She hasn't had a jab for 2 years. But Dad, I've got a cold and I can't get rid of it. I said, well, this is the results. Yeah, but I didn't have it. It was 2 years ago I had it. I said, the damage has been done. So you need to listen and stop. Oh, don't keep on. Don't keep on. And it's difficult. It's not easy. If it was easy, you'd all be doing it. Everyone would be doing it. It's not easy, but this is the time. This is a time where we're being tested, where we're being tested to see who we are, what our resolve is. I can assure you that September and October are going to be huge months. Jason has just given you a date towards the end of October. That wouldn't surprise me at all. As I've said in the title of my book, just for the record, the title of my book, I'm Just Charlie. I'm not the Messiah, I'm just Charlie. If you look at the comments from the people who commented about my book at the front, you'll see the comment that Jason put is actually on his hat.
We, not me. That's it.
We, not me. It's we. We together. Almost. We, not me. It's not just me, it's we.
We.
It's the more we's we all need a wee. We need lots of us together. The more pieces we get in the puzzle, the more pieces, the more complete the picture gets. Don't criticize anybody, other people. There are people out there. I won't even criticize Wano Sabin for what he said. I've put my case across to him and told him why I know what I'm talking about. And he's still waiting to respond, bless him, because he's a busy boy. He's trying. In fact, were you with him last night, Jason?
No, not last night, but when we were in Vegas, I was with him. And
that's right.
Yeah. Let's just say we had a nice long talk, exchange numbers. I'm like, but we've got all documents. They said archive offline. They didn't mean on flash drives. They actually told you in the drops how to do it. You just have to go back and reread it. Also, now it's 120 days, right? It has to be 120 days before the election, right?
Yes.
For the Sarah, right? So here's a double check, right? Day out of time is July 25th, right? July 25th, 2022 is 106 days until 11/8. But if you go to the Julian calendar, so it works on both calendars, it's 119 days till 11/8. So on both calendars, it still works. So you have your 106, which is your 7, and your 119, which is your 11, your 7/11, and also it's your inverted 9/11. There's your 11/8, 11/9. See how it all works? I mean, it's all math, guys. That's it. It's basic.
The other thing that's quite important now, for those people who want to do some research, for those people who want, Jason has downloaded over 800,000 documents. What is the website that you
Scribed?
Yes, Scribed.
SCRIBD. I guess I could type it in there.
SCRIBD, scribe.com. Every single document that you would ever wish for is there. Scribe.com. Not the E in the middle.
It's like $10 a month.
SCRIBD.
Yes.
Yeah, not the E in there.
Yep,
but for those people who want to do some research, everything is there. Just on a very, very funny note, again, I always like my little funny bits of it's creeping out into mainstream media now about how the dangers of the COVID-19 jab. So the mainstream media are now openly talking about the jab, but they've renamed it. It's no longer called the COVID-19 jab. Anybody notice what it's called? It's called the Trump jab. They're blaming it all on him.
No, really, are they doing that now? Saying it was
the
Trump?
Mainstream media are saying that the Trump jab is killing all these people.
Do people understand how stupid this is? Because the thing is, this whole CARES Act, right? Now, we have this all broken down, right? It was January 27th in 2019. Yeah, Joe Donnelly from Connecticut, right? He's a Democrat. And he introduced this whole middle relief tax cut in the House of Representatives. Well, what happened was that it was signed, it passed the House on 7/17 of 2019. And it changed. They changed the name of it to the CARES Act. We all know what the CARES Act is, right? But the funny thing is that you think that, well, it went to the House. Well, it has to go to the Senate and pass, right? When did it get to the Senate? It didn't get into the Senate until March 25th of 2020. Why? Who did they have legging that one out? All you had to do was just walk it across the hall. But they did it because those same dates, they go under the whole George Floyd thing, under the whole 7 Sigma 3. That whole George Floyd thing is all fake. Everything's fake. This whole thing is so much theater. It blows my mind. How half the people aren't even real. They're like 6 billion phones for how many people? It's like for probably like 3. Because half the people here are leaving. They're not real. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you that, but there are people here that are not. They're just,
How many do you think we got on the Insiders Club that are not real?
Oh no, everybody in the Insider Club is real. It's these
we got some naughty ones in there. I can see that.
Oh, it's those liberal assholes we got to deal with over here. It's just
Jason, I've been following a story about they've been talking about these people that you say are not real, and they described as like movie fillers, like extras in the background that don't seem to have a soul. And if you stop and really tune your eyes into it and use your reconnaissance and your intuition, you can figure out saying, well, they're not real people. They're just clones. They're just background fillers. Yeah. So like to make that, the Truman Show type of stuff, to make people just believe what the Matrix.
You've seen it in real life, Mahoney.
Huh?
When I was in Virginia Beach, there was 3 of them there. There was 3 clones there. They had absolutely zero in their eyes, nothing. They had no soul. And I talked to a couple of people. I said, see if you can spot them. 100% they're clones. I've seen clones before. I've seen them in Russia, in the Kremlin, because there's plenty of them around there. They're 2 a penny because it's dangerous. But when I was at Virginia Beach, there was one for sure in New York. And you can't mistake them because there's nothing in their eyes. Nothing.
Because the eyes are the window to the soul.
Correct.
If there's no soul, there you go. And I see people that are saying that, they're wearing masks. Nobody's wearing masks around here, guys. These are clones. Yeah. I mean, it's easier to clone these people than it is to have somebody wear a mask, because we even have it down to the voice synthesizer that they have. Yeah. It's called a Whopper, WOPR. Where was that from? Would you like to play a game? How about a nice game of chess? It was the computer from War Games, guys.
Really?
It's all right here. I mean, and then Keystone, guys, it's the Hoover Dam. Because when we went to Vegas, and for some reason the plane, we didn't have a pilot or anything like that, so I had to stay there an extra day. And when we went to look at everything, there's some specific dates that, because I was an ironworker for 21 years, so I know about the concrete rebar, that stuff, how long it takes to cure and everything. I'm not an idiot at that. So the first batch of concrete that they poured, right, was on June 6th, 1933. What makes that date so special? It's a 666. June, 6 month, 6, 33 is 6. Then on May 29th, 1935 was the last pour. Guys, they're going to tell me 726-foot high Hoover Dam, engineering marvel, this wonder that they did it. And that's why I say like Bridge 1, Bridge 2, you know, there's the Bridge 1 and Bridge 2, there's a technical team and a governance team. That's the cloning. We found all that too. Now, there's also Bridge 1, Bridge 2. Hoover Dam is a bridge, but they built the Pat Tillman Bridge right behind it. And that bridge, believe it or not, I just had that. What did I do with it? I have a book of the Pat Tillman Bridge. It took them twice as long to build a bridge than it did to build a whole dam, even with the technology we have today. And then they said that the first generation of power was on September 11th, 1935. It's like, why wouldn't you put it on 9/11? Fucking assholes. And the thing is, it was named Boulder City Dam before, because Boulder City's right there. Then they named it Hoover Dam. Good old FDR named it Hoover Dam because, of course, they have to sit here and, you know, give props to like Herbert Hoover. But what if it wasn't Herbert Hoover he was giving props to? Remember, there's always two. J. Edgar Hoover, the first one of the FBI. The crossdresser, you know, I mean, he's just real fruity. But thing is that I went over this. I'm like, it is 110% impossible that they built this marvel in the time that they have allotted. Impossible. You would need the concrete to cure for at least a couple years on that job itself. Plus the whole bottom of the Hoover Dam, it's all copper. I even have a bunch of pictures from it. That's why when it goes out, the water, it has that greenish tint. The water, they're pushing through the copper and everything, because if you have too much copper, that's what creates autism. See, you could have like, you know, copper pipes and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy. But when you're pushing that much water over that much copper, I mean, it's solid copper. The whole base of it is solid copper. Like they have semis that go in there. They drive around in there, because I talked to one of the engineers from the Hoover Dam in Vegas. And then I talked to an engineer from the Denver International Airport, which C before D, right? CIA before DIA. Denver International Airport is the last straw, because they have two 80-story buildings down there underneath it that Queen Elizabeth paid for. It's like 26 miles in diameter, or in diameter. I mean, it's all underground. They were going to take us there and kill us all. That's what they were going to do. And these people are beyond sick, but they're fucking reptiles. What do you expect? Bunch of lizards. I mean, hell, you know, if everybody's so, you know, because you know how everybody loves the Royals and everything like that. Well, funny thing is that the Royals, they were created completely out of incest.
Oh yeah, this is Mahoney. You'll like this. This is very interesting. I talked about this yesterday with the show. I bet you didn't know this. Jason's going to show you how incestuous the British royal family is.
No pressure.
No pressure at all if you can't find it, to show you. This will blow your mind, Mahoney, because yes, we've been lied to, but this takes it to a different level, and this can be checked out by anybody. Jason has the family tree, of the Queen and Prince Philip, and if he can find it there,
I'm fine. I got it right here. I know I have it right here.
Oh, yeah.
Have a look at this, Mahoney, and for everybody else that's watching this, this will make you smile, and it'll be a good note to finish on. because all the rest of the intel we've already given you.
You didn't name who the vice president was going to be.
No, that'll come down to the Electoral College, and we'll have to wait and see if his first name it starts with a J. Go on.
But also, what they did was they actually convened in 2021 the Third Continental Congress in Pennsylvania, right? All the documents are in here, right? I met the guy that wrote this whole book, and he's actually the one that actually convened the Third Continental Congress. Now, right here, it says right here, 1776 Declaration of Independence and 1787 Constitution, Third Continental Congress, Article 2, Peace at Your Gates. It says right here, the Third Continental Congress and Provisional Government was convened on 12/22/2021. The funny thing about that date is that President Trump's first tweet on October 28, 2017, the timestamp 12/22/12. So the 21, he just flipped it because it's 33, right? It says right here, this executive branch in 1787 constitutional military, 1787 constitutional commander-in-chief Donald J. Trump called into service by Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 on November 3rd, 2020. 11/3 is the start. There's your
What's
start.
the title of that book, Jason?
Oh, the story of our life based on a true life. And what I'll do is I'll get you guys a bunch of copies. We'll get them online and everything. I mean, this guy, he came up to me, he gave me like 30 of them. And he's like, hey, I guess we're a big inspiration to him writing this.
So tell our audience the relationship between the Queen and Prince Philip before they married.
Oh yeah, they are. Well, you have from.
Hold on, Cece. Cece's got it right.
Yeah, Queen Victoria, Queen Victoria, the one that married Prince Albert, and what happened was that.
They were cousins right from the start. One other piece of little piece of information that came to me today from Justin. Just while they're looking, there you go. That's this is the bloodline of the Queen Elizabeth II, and
now here's the Queen. Let's see, the Queen cover there, right? Sorry about the jitters over here, and then there's the Prince. Prince Philip.
Yeah, the Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip.
Now, if you have two people in the same family tree,
I'm going to show you a piece. I'm going to share you a piece of information. Justin's right beside me here. He gave me a piece of information today. He's just coming out of the pool. A piece of information today, which was valuable on TikTok.
So the car that Princess Diana supposedly died in, the number plate was black. So there was people taking pictures, of course, because it's Diana, and the picture she was in, there was a picture from the back of the car, and the number plate was black. And in the picture of the crash, the number plate was yellow. It was a whole different number.
Completely different number plate.
I'll pull up.
That's Justin's own research.
Yeah, I've heard that before, actually.
I hadn't.
The driver of the car doesn't talk, but is she alive? Is she not alive? It's one of those JFK questions, isn't it?
Look. So Diana's right here. You can't see her. And look at the license plate.
Black, yeah.
In the car that she crashed, the license plate is black. That's Diana. You can't really see it. And now, in the crash,
in the tunnel,
the number plate is yellow. The wreck is over here, but it's zoomed in a lot. But yeah. I'll show you when it's zoomed out. But this is how the number plate was, and you can't see it. So the number plate in this car is 488LTV75, and the other one is a whole different number plate.
Hey, look, we're creating a generation, and Justin's a start from my point of view, creating a generation of young people who are prepared to think for themselves. I'm going to make one last quick 2 points right now that are valuable. For those people, there are certain people being used right now to wake people up. There are certain people being used. Russell Brand is one about the awakening. He is waking people up because he's a public figure and he is waking people up. The way he does things may not be your taste, but he's doing that. I've said on my whole journey, my job as a man is the protection of our women and our children. And when I've finished this journey, it'll be to make men again. Somebody's just hit the sort of front pages now, called Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate, who are educating the world on what it is to be a man. Some of you will find it very hard because these guys talk about real men. And I mean, it's a bit of a shock to the system.
It's funny.
It's funny. They do it in a naughty sense of humor. But the Tate brothers, not everything they say is bang on, but they're on the right track. This is to wake people up. Very often you have to cross the line to get people to see it. Because you have, as I've often said in my life, when my godfather said, "Do you ever cross the line?" Well, I said, "You need to see it from both sides." They've crossed the line a couple of times, a little bit naughty, but good fun humour with Russell Brand and Andrew Tate. I'm going to try and get Andrew on a show because I would like to see more men stand up right now. And this is as he rightly said, he had a debate with a pink-haired gay guy, and he said, "Look," he said, "the problem is with you people. The moment somebody picks on you and goes cross at you, you phone up the police to turn up with guns and whatever and defend you. I don't. I go out and punch somebody's lights out myself because you can't defend yourself. But you say, oh, it's nice being a nice man and all the rest of it. But I'm not the toughest man in the world myself. But my balls are as big as anybody else's, and I'll go head to head with anybody. And they'll probably knock the seven bells of shit at me, but I'll stand up for what I believe in. And it's always stood me in good stead. I've actually gone nose to nose, as people know in my book, against people a lot bigger than me. And they've been shocked that I've actually said to them, make sure your first shot's good because it'll be the last shot you ever have. And they backed down. And I'll be honest with you, my legs were still shaking half an hour later. I'm going to love you and leave you because I promised Justin a little time in the swimming pool.
Also,
Thank you, guys.
One more thing about Princess Diana. Right here, we actually have the patents, right here. The Mercedes-Benz valve arrangement for power assisted steering system. It was exclusively in aid of death of Princess Diana. I mean, guys, when we combed over all this stuff, we went over it. I mean,
this again, you know, we've just raised this subject where Justin is, and Jason's got all the research. He's done tons of it. So before you comment, make sure you've done some really good research because Jason has and I have. But thank you, Jason.
Yeah, outstanding.
Thank you.
I'll see you boys later. I'm doing the after party now, so I'll put the link in the message for anybody who wants to join us for a Q&A with me personally. Jason, I look forward to watching your next release of Intel. That is so interesting.
Yeah, and on Scribed, you can get that family tree on Scribed.com.
Yeah,
all these documents are on Scribed.
Perfect.
Going to
Cheers, guys.
you have a field day. All right,
well
bye,
done,
guys.
boys. See you next time.
Yep, love you guys.
Charlie's gone as well. All right, guys, that was a good show today. Jason, the information he shares is so intense, isn't it? You really need to take a lot of notes there, but you can always go back and watch it later at another day. I'm going to be doing the after party now. Give me a few minutes to get some water and just get things fired up, and I'll see you in a few short minutes. Make sure you keep the questions and answers rather than a share, because I have so many people to get through. As much as I love hearing your stories, it gives me a lot of flack when people can't get on and ask a question they need answering. So, see you shortly, guys.